In this video, we're going to show how to format our report so that it looks like this top part. So far, we have entered all our formulas, and now we need to format it so that it looks good. Let's start with this report title, 2018 Total Sales by Agent. Normally, we want the report title to be in a bigger font size, like between 20 to 24 points, and we want to center it, just like what we have in the model answer. So let's work on centering it first. So to center it, right now the report title is in cell A1, so we can't really center it because it's just over here. What we do first is select A1 all the way to H1, okay? And up here you have this button called Merge and Center. So click that. So what it has done is it has merged all the cells you've selected into a single cell called A1, and then it has centered the content of A1 in this merged cell. So now it's in the center. Then we can increase the font size to, let's say, 24 or 22. Now, of course, the height of the row isn't big enough now. So over here, row 1, you can point your cursor to this border between row 1 and 2, and you can drag it until it's tall enough to show the entire report. And if you want to know the height, you can right click on this row 1 button, and you can see the row height. So that's around 29.4 points. We can make it 29.5 just to make it even, 29.5. So I do the same thing to row 2. I select A2 to H2 and merge and center. Change it to 24. And I can also do the row height. So it's the same as the first one, 29.5. Okay, so they're even. Oops, just 22 here. I can also put a background color. It's nice to choose a background color that's light. So in the model answer, I use a light green. So let's look for a light green color here. I'll go with this one. Okay, so now and if you want, you can even boldface the title so it stands out more. Now we go with the months. So the months are our column labels. It's also nice to format them so that they stand apart from the data. For this one, just to provide some contrast, we'll choose a darker green, and then we'll use white for the labels. And if you want, you can also make them boldface. Okay, so now the report is looking a bit better because our data is now differentiated from the titles. Another thing we can do is add these borders to separate the data from the totals. So let's go ahead and do that. So I select row 10, and up here we have a border button. I put a top border. So now there's a top border there, and I select row 13, and I put a bottom border. All right, and one more thing you'll notice is that we have these red cells here. They've got red highlight, and this is to indicate who had the highest sales revenue for that month. They will show up with a red background and in red font. So let's see how to do that. To do that, I used a feature of Excel called conditional formatting. That means you only get that format if you met a condition, which is you're the highest sales for the month. So let's start with July. I select these cells because these are the cells I want to format. So I want the highest value among these cells to receive a special format. So I go up here under Home, Conditional Formatting. You can enter the rules for formatting, or I'm just going to use this top and bottom. So basically, I just want the top one value to be formatted with that red background and red font. So I go to top 10 items. Now all of them show up with that format because it's top 10 and there's only 6 of them. So I just change this to top 1, only the first one. And so now only Ross, the revenue for Ross is highlighted. And right now it's a light red fill with dark red text. You can choose to change it this way, but I'm going to keep this format, and I click OK. And I do the same thing for August. Now you may have figured out that there must be a way to copy this format, and there is. So you can select these cells, click this button called Format Painter. This will copy the format, and then click and drag it here in September, and now it copies the format. But you want to copy it to October, November, and December as well. So if you want to copy the format to multiple ranges, this is what you do. So again, select the range of cells with the format you want to copy. Instead of clicking Format Painter once, you click twice. So now you can repeatedly copy it to other ranges. And then when you're finished, and all the way to totals. So when you're finished with the copying of the format, you can press Escape on the keyboard to stop the copying. And so now we have entered the formats for this report. And in the next video, we're going to show how to add the charts.